The Bella twins, television, and Oliver North are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is November 21st, 2022. It is the 325th day of the year. You got 40 days left. It is the 47th Monday in the 47th week and the 61st day of fall. You got 30 days left until winter. Today is World Television Day. Every year on November 21st, World Television Day recognizes how TV has played a vital role in presenting different issues that affect society. The first television was invented in 1927. The 21-year-old inventor was Philo Taylor Farnsworth. His idea was to capture moving images, transfer them into code, then move those images along radio waves to different devices. In 1928, a television aired the first broadcast. It wasn't until 1938 that television sets became commercially available. Now back then, televisions were really rare, and it wasn't until about 1949 that they finally passed the million mark. Million homes had televisions. Back in the day, since it was a new technology, they were very expensive for the time. In 1949, the most expensive television being sold was about $1,200. That's about $14,000 today. By 1969, the number of televisions had skyrocketed to about 44 million. And during that time frame, the number of television stations around the country went from 69 to 566. We all know that television kind of influenced culture for decades. Seems to be fading, a little bit these days at least. The internet and streaming services have kind of taken over. I worked for Comcast from 2012 to 2016. Every single day, most of my calls at the time were people canceling television service. They just wanted to keep their internet, no television service. That whole thing slowed down around 2019 is my understanding, and it's not as heavy of a rate of people canceling. But more people still cancel than sign up for television service. Today, nearly 96% of households in the United States have at least one television set. There is a very good book I read probably, a while back, but it's called The Boy Who Invented Television, A Story of Inspiration, Persistence, and Quiet Passion. I'll leave a link for it down below in case you want to check that out. All right, let's see what else happened on November 21st. 1861, American Civil War. Confederate President Jefferson Davis appoints Judah Benjamin the Secretary of War. 1877, Thomas Edison announces his invention of the phonograph, a machine that can record and play sound. 1905, Albert Einstein's paper that leads to the mass energy equivalence formula E=mc², is published. 1916, mines from SMU 73 sink HMHS Britannica, the largest ship lost in the First World War. 1942, the completion of the Alaskan Highway, also known as Alcan Highway, is celebrated. However, the highway is not usable by standard road vehicles until 1943. 1980, a deadly fire breaks out at the MGM Grand Hotel in Paradise, Nevada. Now it's Bally's, Las Vegas. 85 people are killed and more than 650 people are injured in the worst disaster in Nevada history. I remember when this happened. It was so sad. People are like on their balcony waving, you know? At the time of the fire, there was about 5,000 people in the hotel. It's a casino with a 26-story hotel with more than 2,000 hotel rooms. It opened in 1973. Around 7 a.m. on Friday, November 21st, 1980, a fire broke out in the restaurant known as the Deli. An employee first noticed the fire but thought it was like a problem with the electrical. He saw a flickering light. That flickering light was actually flames within the wall. Not long after discovering the flickering light, the smoke started coming out of the wall. This was reported to security, who alerted the fire department. The first fire trucks actually got to the hotel in about 20 minutes after they initially saw the flickering light. By 7:30 a.m., they were requesting any helicopter in the area that could assist them. And this is where it got impressive. Nellis Air Force Base pulled about 1,000 people out of one of the largest helicopter rescue operations in American history. Luckily for the hotel and all the people in there, it wasn't just the local helicopters they had at Nellis Air Force Base. They actually had a helicopter exercise known as Red Flag or Red Flag Nellis, where all these different military units were doing training. They had all these extra helicopters there and helicopter crews. Without them, this could have been so much worse. They pulled 1,000 people off of the roof and balconies of that hotel. Besides the helicopter, more than 200 firefighters responded to the fire. Sadly, the deli where the fire started used to be be a 24-hour deli, but they were trying to cut corners and they closed the deli down. They figure if the deli would have been open 24 hours a day, they would have seen the smoke earlier and been able to put it out. At the time, some sprinklers were installed in the resort, but not everywhere because it would have cost them an additional $192,000 to do the entire resort. So definitely a human error there. It didn't have to be this bad. And then, humans as humans do, they did some pretty tacky stuff. The jewelry store was looted during the fire, and so was a bunch of money taken from different casino cages and things like that. So they got fired, they got smoke, people are dying, and idiots are jumping over into the cages to get money and breaking windows and glass cases at the jewelry store. Now, it wasn't just the loss of life and a hotel. The state's gaming revenue was hurt by the closure of the MGM, as the resort was one of the largest tax contributor to local gaming industry. The county lost an estimated $1.7 million because of the closure. It cost MGM about $50 million to fix the hotel. It reopened in July of 1981. In the end, 78 guests and 7 employees had perished in the fire. 588 guests were injured, 25 employees were injured, as were 14 firefighters. Guess they should have spent that $192,000 for the sprinkler system. 1985, United States Navy intelligence analyst Jonathan Pollard is arrested for spying after being caught giving Israel classified information on Arab nations. He is subsequently sentenced to life in prison. Yeah, if you're a spy, they cut you no slack. It's like a life in prison thing almost right away. 1986, National Security Council member Oliver North and his secretary start to shred documents allegedly implicating them in the Iran-Contra affair. 1992, a major tornado strikes Houston, Texas during the afternoon. Over the next 2 days, the largest tornado outbreak ever to occur in the U.S. during November spawns over 100 tornadoes. Movies released on November 21st, 2012, Life of Pi. This is a really interesting movie. I saw it and I wasn't really interested. And about 2-3 years after it was released, I finally saw it. It was very good. It's a survival fantasy drama based on the 2001 novel of the same name by Jan Martel, centering on an Indian man named Pi who survives a shipwreck as a teenager in which his family had died. The film won a Golden Globe for Best Original Score and won 4 Academy Awards, the most of that night, including the Best Director. Born on November 21st, 1983, Nikki and Brie Bella, former wrestling entertainment divas champions. These are 2 girls in wrestling and they were huge for a lot of years. And they worked their way up. Before joining the WWE, the twins trained and performed with the Florida Championship Wrestling Association. It's like the minor leagues of wrestling. Now, wrestling is obviously fake. Everyone knows it's fake, but their athletic ability and their showmanship and the fact that they're entertainers, that's not fake. I was going on one time about how it's fake wrestling and all that, and a friend of mine who's into it says, no, you're looking at it wrong. This is like live action comic books. Don't expect it to be a real sport. Expect it to be entertainment, and you're fine with it. I was all, okay, that is entertaining. Died on November 21st, 1993, Bill Bixby, TV actor who played roles on My Favorite Martian, The Magician, and is best known as Dr. David Banner in The Incredible Hulk, the TV show, back in the 70s, I guess it was. I love that show. I was never a big fan of The Incredible Hulk, but I watched that show every Thursday or whenever it was on. Before fame, he participated in high school speech competitions and later dropped out of college only 4 credits short of graduating. He joined the Marine Corps. He was also in The Courtship of Eddie's Father, which is an incredible show from 1969. Bill Bixby was directing different shows and stuff like that, and he finished his career directing 30 episodes in season 2 and 3 of the NBC sitcom Blossom. Now, he had collapsed one day on the set of Blossom. In early 1993, after rumors began circulating about his health, Bixby went public with his illness. On November 21st, 1993, Bill Bixby died of prostate cancer in Century City, Los Angeles. He was only 59 years old. Now, there are reports and there are different things that say he died on November 22nd. I've seen both, so we're going with 21st here. It's like a conspiracy. Some people say he died on November 21st, but they didn't report it till the 22nd. Why anyone would want to hide his death for a day is beyond me. Alright, that's today's video. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.